start recording. Check 1, 2.
Oh, you haven't been recording all that.
Not yet.
You don't really know when he's gonna start.
That's like my best stuff right
Oh,
there.
sorry. Were we talking over your intro?
Did we set up like that?
No, it's okay. Okay. Welcome everybody to the Friendly Skies podcast.
Is this for real?
This is your host, Matt. My guest co-host, sub-co-host, Leah. Not as subhuman, as a regular host. And we have special guests today, Vicky and Iggy.
Ooh, I came first. Yeah.
And Iggy is, if I can introduce Iggy here, screenwriter, director, producer. So we are flying over Hollywood because we're going to be talking about movies today.
Where's my intro?
Yeah, are you going to intro me?
Vicky.
Wow, you said my name first, but then you totally skipped over me.
No, I'll.
Who's your sister?
I appreciate it.
Okay, no, I'll do your intro.
You're embarrassed of
this
your
is,
These are your siblings here, okay?
Oh my
Vicky,
goodness.
Etsy
Forget it.
artist.
I'm scared now.
Former convict.
What?
Etsy.
Never convicted.
Humanitarian?
Humanitarian. She once sewed a patch into my guitar case. Vicky, welcome.
Thank
I
you.
have to say, she was acquitted. So.
The glove didn't fit.
You must have quit.
We're going to be talking about, the first topic today will be Iggy. I should say, I always ask him about movies because he knows every single movie ever made. So I don't do, well, now I do Wikipedia because I don't ask him every question all the time. Because I don't call him all the time. So I check. Anyway, so I'll probably edit that part out. I'm not sure yet. The topic is streaming versus going to a movie and sitting down and paying for it. Go ahead, Iggy.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Theatrical.
Theatrical release.
Versus streaming.
That's a better title.
Yeah, so theatrical versus streaming. I guess it's like, who's talking?
Let me. This is the Friendly Skies podcast.
Okay, very distracting.
Not too friendly.
I'm trying to talk and there's somebody, a
You have
pilot.
a radio on in your own plane right now?
Okay, I turned it down a little bit.
Oh my god.
Oh, geez.
Okay, I'll turn.
Okay.
Want me to turn off the
Yeah,
ATC?
would you?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
It's hard to focus.
Okay.
Wait, do you
Matt
keep
has
it on
that
for?
bed.
Do you usually keep it on when people talk? You have this low volume.
Oh, dude.
Chattering. in the background?
Once with Rich, on one episode, my plane kept falling to the ground, so it kept saying, "Go up, and it just had this loud beep, and he just kept trying to talk for like an hour.
Oh my god.
Um.
I'm sure that sounded great.
Okay, we'll turn down.
It's all about quality.
Let's see. Okay. How about now, X?
Great.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So basically the question is, so it shouldn't be theatrical versus streaming. It should be theatrical and streaming.
Right.
They should be able to live side by side.
So
You're
they're
not
not
gonna
in competition with each other?
Well, they are in competition in a way because especially now with post-COVID, people have gotten used to the idea of staying home, watching movies. Movies are available now on on HBO Max that usually were just available on in movie theaters. I'm saying it shouldn't be one or the other. You're not going to watch a movie in the theater every day, right? You're not going to watch a movie at home on your birthday or maybe on a date, right? So there's like a time and a place for each one.
Well, I could watch a movie at home or on a date.
On a birthday or on a date, yep.
You could do
that's just
that.
Sorry to interrupt
Well-
everyone. We're just flying by the Hollywood sign right now.
Nice.
Okay, back to the show. Go ahead, Iggy.
No. So on a first date, though, you're not gonna go to probably you won't
It's
go to
called
your person's
Netflix
house right
and
away.
chill.
Usually on
Right.
first dates, I usually invite people over. But go ahead.
Well,
Okay,
I get the point.
No, I get it. I get it.
The idea is there's like special events, right, where you're not gonna want to just cram everybody in your living room and just watch on your TV.
Right.
The idea is that you can go to the movie theater and have streaming, and neither one, theaters are going out of business, and that's due to COVID. But it was on this trend. This was a trend even before COVID. All right. Now more movies are available now on streaming than ever before, but that doesn't mean it's a better experience. It's just a different experience. It's more convenient. It's cheaper. But that doesn't mean that it's better, right? People say, well, it's easier, but that
Would
doesn't
you
mean
say it's
better.
like ordering out versus going to a restaurant?
Exactly. That's actually I have it. My first note is
That's
Oh,
how good.
wow.
That's how good of an
Wow.
interview I am. Thank you, everyone.
You guys are reading each other's minds.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, so restaurant versus takeout, exactly. Sometimes you want to go to the restaurant, sometimes you want to, or as apparently Matt likes to do everything at home. So
Everything.
first date, takeout, and a movie.
That's right.
But the truth is, there's a lot. Like for example, when you go to the theater, you have only so many choices, right? The theater has maybe 8 screens or 5 screens. When you jump on streaming, there's a million fucking choices,
Right.
and that makes it
Yeah.
harder for some people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Leah.
I've noticed that on the streaming there's a ton. It's quantity over quality. It's like a ton of movies all the time, a ton of movies, but like nothing. Like the good movies that they add per month is slim.
Yeah, that's what so they have something called the algorithm, which means based on your watching preferences, they show you certain movies that they think you'll like, right? Now with me, most of the time I don't take their suggestions, right? Because they're not good suggestions. But what you're talking about is like, you sit down, it's overwhelming how many choices you have. And I know movies, so I research them beforehand. I kind of know when I sit down what I'm gonna watch. I don't have to do a lot of channel surfing or like movie surfing. But other people, they sit down, they don't know. They sometimes they pick things based on the thumbnail, which is fine because when you go to the movie theater, sometimes you pick something. Some people do based on the poster, right?
Right.
But the truth is, there's nothing bad about streaming. And people say, well, Netflix killed the movie theater. That's actually not true. Studios killed the movie theater in a way because they started to produce a certain kind of movie that a lot of people that when you make big movies that take up all the screens, right? There's not a lot of choice there. So people go to the movie theaters, maybe there's 6 screens and 4 of them are Avengers.
Right.
Okay? Nothing against Avengers. But now all these interesting movies, maybe, the indie movies, the mid-budget movies, they don't really exist anymore because studios don't like to make them.
Right.
So when Netflix comes, it steps it steps into the arena of making movies. They're making movies that the studios aren't making anymore, and they're showing them to people on their site, which they should do. It's a great business plan. Why would they show it in movie theaters?
Right.
If they're trying to.
But
get
you can't
subscribers
show
on there?
something like Tomorrow's War on the movie theaters because that was like a cheap version of Edge of Tomorrow, right?
So Tomorrow War costs more than Edge of Tomorrow. I think it costs $200 million,
Really?
which is a lot.
It looked
Yeah,
it looked terrible.
It wasn't always an Amazon movie. It had been produced for theatrical release, and then because of COVID, it was sold to Amazon and premiered on Amazon.
But why does
Amazon
why does it just doesn't look like, I guess it is a big budget big movie, but I don't think it was filmed well, like not like Edge of Tomorrow, which I felt like was high quality.
Right. So Edge of Tomorrow is definitely a better movie. The debate about CGI is different. Just because a movie costs a lot of money doesn't mean that CGI is going to be great.
Right.
Because if there's a lot of CGI in a movie.
No, but that's what
right,
I'm saying. It was just not done. I guess that's what it is. It wasn't done as well then.
And it had
It
a
wasn't.
bad plot, and this wasn't a good movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Tomorrow was a better movie overall.
Right. The CGI in Tomorrow War was like the least of its problems. You know what I'm saying? Like there were plot holes that you could drive a truck through. Okay? And that's not even the worst part, is that the main concept it doesn't really make sense if you think about it. That's why a lot of people who like the movie, they said, well, if you don't really think about it, it's a good movie. Or I enjoyed it.
Well, a plot hole was the people that came back from the future were the children of the people that they were asking to fight in the war, that they were really kind of carelessly letting die. And wouldn't they then also not exist if their parents then died in the war they were asking them to fight in?
Time travel is always tricky. Time travel is always tricky. I'll say that much. I'm being diplomatic because I might have to work with these people in the future, so I don't want
We
to.
got it. Leah, stop trying to get him in trouble here. Okay.
Yeah, there was just a lot of plot holes.
Stop. Listen, no one was talking crap about Tomorrow's War until Leah stepped in here. So, Iggy,
I'll take
Like
responsibility.
it either. So
Yeah, I'll
I
take
thought
full
it was really
responsibility.
bad.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Pratt has kind of gone downhill in my mind as well as.
well, you
He
know what?
looked bored throughout the whole movie. Like doing the movie, he looked completely bored.
Listen,
Yeah.
Really sad.
I don't want to ask this to Iggy because he's not going to want to answer this. But let me ask you this, Vicky and Leah. Chris Pratt is a terrible actor.
It's a
I
question
like
or a
him.
statement?
It's more of a statement. More of a statement.
Okay. Go ahead, Vicky.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, like, I enjoyed Jurassic World. I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy. But then, like, the second Jurassic World, I did not like at all. And then I felt like in the Tomorrow War was him just. First of all, he looked tired as all hell. And he had some bags under his eyes. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
But,
Let's just say it. Let's just say the truth, okay? Ever since he got divorced Anna Faris and got religious, he became weird.
Yes.
And was not really
Yes.
an actor.
All right.
Yes,
Well,
I agree.
That's
well,
my theory.
but before
I agree. He's not as hot.
before we keep, because this could spiral into a lot of movie conversations. Iggy, what else do we have on? Like, so are you saying which one is better? Or are you just saying the differences between streaming versus?
So just to clarify, I have quite a bit on theatrical versus streaming, and we're only about like 5 minutes in. So
We just
We
went
got
off on a
time, we got
tangent.
time.
We're going to Van Nuys. Go ahead.
okay, I know that you guys like the gossipy stuff, but I'm gonna try to be a little bit more
What?
academic
That
about
was sexist.
We need a
That was
little bit of
sexist.
gossip. I
Okay,
need
thoughts
a little bit of
thoughts on
gossip.
Kevin Spacey.
A little bit
I
of
don't
gossip.
appreciate the
Splash.
sexism.
So another thing is the exhibitors, right? So when you go to see a movie, the experience of seeing a movie in a theater, if you were in a recliner, right, and you didn't have, I think recliner seats are incredible. I think reserved seating is brilliant. Okay, here's the thing: what exhibitors should do to lure people in is cut off all the cell phone signal in the actual auditorium in the theater, because that cell phones have been the bane of
That sounds like a safety
movies for
hazard.
a long time.
But they don't even do that
Yeah.
on airplanes. They don't even do that on airplanes, right?
You can't, right? So, well, here's the.
Well,
no,
they can't.
Well, actually, I think you're supposed to turn off your phone when you take off.
Right when
Now,
you take it off, yeah.
before cell phones, people didn't die in theaters all the time, or if there was an emergency, you were in a movie theater, you dealt with it after the movie. Now, if you're in the movie theater and your phone's on, you're not supposed to answer it, so you wouldn't know that there was an emergency. I guess unless you got a text, which you're not supposed to look at. So in theory, they say shut off your phone. What people do is they don't shut off their phone, and then everybody else has to put up with them. And this is why maybe like older people don't go to the movie theaters anymore as
Right.
much as they used to, is because younger people come in, inconsiderate people really. It's not even younger people. It's just inconsiderate people. You can be older and still be an asshole. They go
Yeah.
to the movie theaters. They fuck around with their phones. Then I have to deal with it. So this is what I'm saying. If you make the theatrical experience better, which is cut out all the commercials, right? There should be no commercials. Trailers
Right, if you're
are
paying
one
for a
thing.
movie, there should be no.
Trailers are one of the best things about, I think, going to the movies. For me, not like outside of just
Sure.
seeing it on the big screen. but
Leah is looking
seeing-
forward more to the trailers than the movie itself.
Well, that was
I
gonna be
love
one of my questions
commercials.
about like new movies coming out. I don't even know new movies coming out because I don't see trailers anymore.
Well, so you see, that's how you learn about movies is trailers. I already know these movies are going to come out, so I I sometimes avoid the trailers because I don't like getting spoiled. But what you're saying is the part of the experience is trailers. It's always been, but commercials is like a fairly new thing. Like even it started like in the I don't know like the I don't know when it started officially, but I started to notice it in like the mid 2000s, I think,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
late
annoying.
2000s.
It's annoying. I liked the trivia initially, but then it like got into commercials and weird stuff.
The trivia is awesome. The trivia and even playing music.
Yep. Or
In Kendall
cartoons.
Square. Yeah, cartoons. Basically, literally anything except for like a commercial about health insurance, whatever, is preferable to what is
Do you,
what they're doing now.
do you think they should bring
Totally.
back more theaters? Bring more restaurants to theaters, like we've gone at the Alamo and some
Yeah.
other places.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so fun.
When it comes to food and snacks in theaters, this has always been kind of a thing. Like think back to what's the oldest when you think of movie watching, what do you think of? What snack do you think of?
Popcorn.
Popcorn, and that's really fucking noisy, right? Like imagine the noisiest food you can eat. Popcorn is like number one at the top of that list, right? Because you don't
Yeah.
have. So it's always been a problem. Eating in theaters is not. I've never been crazy about it. Um, but what I like about Alamo Draft House is that they enforce the rules. No talking, no cell phones. I love that. That's just.
So you're
You're
saying
there
that
to
the
see
movie experience should be heighten the quality if to make it worthwhile for people to go back in there.
Exactly, because if you're gonna pay that much, and that's another thing that me and Vix were talking about that before the podcast was the price of movie tickets, right, Vix?
That's
Yeah, they're
right.
very expensive.
Vicky's got the phone on the floor. She's like, yeah.
No, it
Uh,
said it the voice detection it like turned it off or something for
Oh,
better phone performance.
oh, we could
Did you not hear me?
Oh,
I apologize. I'm messing everything up.
don't be sorry.
We can hear. I can hear you.
I was trying to be good.
And we're not gonna die either because we're flying over a dam.
I think
What
I like
are
your
you-
idea, Iggy, about like separating the food and the movie experience a little bit. Like
Yes.
if you could have like a beginning area time where you like have drinks and then you go watch the movie and then maybe there's an intermission or you watch the full movie and then you go have a little
Right.
dinner on the same site. And also I would even say like the quality of the food because I'm kind of a food snob, but like the place we went was pretty good. But like it was still just like picking fingers and like and I remember I went to another Eden diner in Framingham or something. I'm sorry, Eden movie theater in Framingham, and it was like really low quality food. Still fun, but I feel like the food should be like higher quality too. But like when you're eating it during the movie, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe it's not like actual dinner, but it should be like just really cool, interesting snacks or more like bite-sized food type
Sure.
of thing. Like I kind of wish it wasn't like spaghetti.
Well, actually, and you hit on something else, which is the idea of an intermission, which I think I've been to movies with official intermissions. I've been to movies that had unofficial intermissions where like the projector broke and we had a blackout for 15 minutes. I think intermissions should be a thing, right? 'Cause you can take a pee break, you can grab something to drink or to eat if you haven't already, right?
Oh,
so
yeah. As someone who pees a lot, I can tell you that it would make it better because a lot of people get up multiple times throughout the movie to pee. But if you knew there was an intermission, you would probably wait, enjoy the movie, knowing,
Exactly.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're exactly right. I'm just saying I'm piggybacking off what you were saying, which is something that not a lot of people talk about, but the idea of intermissions, which to me it's only a benefit. Now people say, well, then the movie then it's too long. Then if the movie's 2 hours, then well, wait, what's an extra 15 minutes really, right? Just cut out all the commercials and then you can have your intermission, right?
Well, then that goes back to also like the whole experience changing a little bit and getting better. Like the theaters and the facilities got to get better if they're gonna have intermission. You can't just have like one or
Right.
two bathrooms on the one side where there's like 6 theaters. And the
Right.
bathrooms are always disgusting. Like I really want like those really nice theaters that are really upscale. Like the bathrooms are all fancy and stuff.
hmm Yeah,
That's
you know what?
nice.
Well, here's so you're exactly hitting. You guys are.
We've done this before, several
No,
times.
you're pros. So here's the thing.
Thank
Peop
you.
Hey, Vix, you done? You
I'm
done?
still here. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Um, area. But here's the truth. Here's the truth. People want to go to the movie theater, and you know how I know that? It's because Movie Pass, right? You know why Movie Pass didn't work? Not because it wasn't successful. It's because it was so successful that they couldn't keep up with the demand, right? They were
Well, it
losing
became
money.
a scam. It
It
became a
became a.
scam yeah.
Go ahead, Vix.
Well, no, I had it for a bit, and it seemed like too good to be true. I don't even remember what it was anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but towards the end, it was like, you wanted to go pick out a movie or whatever. You had to be either close to the cinema in order to get your ticket ahead of time, or it only gave you some certain time slots, even though there were movie tickets available for other ones, but they would only allow you to do certain ones. So then like it wasn't even
Mm-hmm.
practical anymore. And then yeah, it just went
You know
out.
why? You know why they you felt like they were trying to sabotage you? It's because they were trying to sabotage you because they were losing money when people were going to see movies every
Right.
single day, right?
Right.
They were losing money. Even if the people who weren't seeing movies every day, if they were seeing movies once or twice a week, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying is that people want to see movies. People don't want to be, especially now. So if you had something like Movie Pass that actually worked, that would take care of the whole ticket prices are too high because they are too high in New York. 17 $18 for a movie ticket. I mean that's outrageous,
And
right?
usually you're going
Uh,
to what, an AMC, which I'm sorry, when I that it's like the bathrooms. Speaking of bathrooms, the bathrooms at an AMC are it's like a Target. It's like going to a bathroom at a Target. You know, you
mm,
can always tell a lot about a place
Leah
by
spends a
going
lot
to
of
the
time in the
bathroom.
bathroom, so
I do. I'm not gonna lie, but like you can always tell a lot about a place by its bathroom. So.
She's filling in for
yes,
Gabby now. Officially.
we're like
I
Iggy. Tell
actually
us about movie theater bathrooms.
I actually like AMC theater bathrooms,
Oh my
but
god, how dare
You know
you?
what?
No.
You know what the real thing is that they really are two types of people. There are types of people like you, Iggs, who like are really hardcore into the cinema, appreciate the art of it, the experience, and then there's people like these bitches as well as myself who appreciate more. We value more comfort over
mm,
experience. And so instead of worrying about like, oh, if we go to this theater, they have better food, but their bathrooms are gross. But then if we go to that theater, then they have the recliner seats, but they don't have the convenience of blah blah blah. So
Take
it's
good
like
food
once
over
you
bad bathrooms. Good food over
oh,
bad
oh
bathrooms for
well
sure.
yeah, there's a hierarchy to it, but overall it's like now that streaming has become the norm with COVID, and as you said, how it was going along that trajectory anyway, um it's just so much easier, and so like all these streaming channels are now taking advantage of it because all I see are all these movies with like big ticket actors, and it just feels so weird. It's like you get kind of like prissy, and I see a movie that's being streamed and like Chris Pratt is in it, and I already am going in thinking like, ugh, he's already going downhill. You know what I mean? If it's
right.
not in the cinema.
You probably would have thought a lot more of the Tomorrow War, which I'm not even that crazy about, but you would have thought more of it if you'd seen it in a theater. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Even the people.
Exactly.
So this year, so Vix, you're absolutely right. I'm saying that you can be comfortable in a movie theater. I'm not even especially advocating. Yeah, nicer bathrooms. For me, it's like the basics: stadium seating, which I think is essential nowadays, reclining seats, and uh, ushers who come in and shut people up when they're being too fucking loud. And
Mhm.
yeah, no cell phones. No cell phones because I go to the theater. The thing I dread the most is I'm watching the movie and there's little screens popping up in my peripheral view, right?
Yeah, I hate it when
And
people don't turn their cell phones off.
so if you had, so this is what I'm saying. It's like it's the exhibitors that have to step up and start to make the theater more comfortable for people who are not attached to the phone. The other thing about the what they call the theatrical window. right? So when a movie comes out in theaters, there's a certain amount of time it's in theaters before it goes to streaming. Now, because of COVID, we've had day and date, which existed before
Mhm.
COVID, but now it's more mainstream where you have the movie come out in theaters the same day it comes out on streaming, right? On HBO Max, you see Godzilla versus Kong the same day you can see it in theaters. To me, something that Steven Soderbergh, the filmmaker, he said that with a movie you should have it in theaters as long as people want to watch it, and then transition it to streaming and have the marketing. I'm talking from the point of view of a filmmaker, I guess. Have the marketing kind of follow it so that you don't have to wait a couple months for it to come out on streaming or on video. So have it
Mhm.
play in theaters. If people go to see it, great. Keep it in theaters for as long as people are seeing it, and then slowly, if it loses, if it's not popular, if it's people stop seeing it, then you take it to streaming. But you don't start at streaming. At least for me, I would never choose to have my movie on streaming right away. Now, if it was the only option, I'd live with it. And any filmmaker, if you ask them, would you want your movie to premiere in a movie theater or on streaming? What do you think they're gonna say? Movie theater, right?
Right.
Nobody wants
Right.
to have their movies premiere on Netflix right away. Some people say, well, you get a bigger audience that way. Well, you can still go to Netflix after your movie is premiered in the theater. The thing about the theatrical experience is that, for me, the theatrical experience, or even movies in general, it's about pageantry, right? You have the red carpet premiere, you have, the stars come out, all that kind of stuff. Without that, movies feel smaller to me. And I think, Vix, this is what you were saying, and maybe Leah, about how some movies just seem like it's not such a big deal, or like it's almost like it feels like TV.
Right.
It's like a psychological thing that you don't get as excited about it, because I do agree that pageantry does something to you where you're like getting anticipation, because it's kind of like streaming where you binge watch. Like, I don't always like binge watching stuff. I kind of like it when, like, we watched a show recently called Mayor of Easttown where you had to wait to watch it, and it actually like made the show so much better because I was like anticipating it. It was like, oh, it's kind of similar to what you're saying about like rolling it out. Like, when I see a trailer, I'm like get excited about a movie, and then I see like red carpet pictures, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then when I go see the movie, I'm excited. A lot of times I leave and it's not that good. I feel disappointed, but it's still fun. It's definitely fun.
Exactly, because there's stuff around that experience when you go to the movie theater. You go with your friends or your family. You take the subway, maybe a funny story. I'm not saying theatrical
Even
experience is better than
even
the home experience.
sorry, even to throw my 2 cents in here, even going alone is okay too. I used to go to the movie theater
Oh, yeah.
alone all the time in Western Mass.
I love how you say it's okay, like not like going alone is fun. It's like going alone is okay.
Yeah, no, I used to go to
But
Burger
alone
King
okay.
and
Okay.
binge on a couple of double Whoppers and go to the movie theater alone and just watch in the back seat. Anyway, go ahead,
Yeah.
Iggs. Go ahead.
No, I agree. If I had a job interview that went well, afterwards I'd go and I'd reward myself with a movie. Right? I'd go and watch a movie in the middle of the day, at the movie theater. So I'm not saying, but you see, here's the thing though. TV is great. I have no problem with TV, but it's a different beast than theatrical. Theatrical should not go away. And some people are saying, well, it won't go away, but it'll become more of like a specialized thing like Broadway, where you go, it costs a lot more, and you go once in a while. Well, no, but that's different. Broadway is live theater. I mean, there's a premium cost there because you're seeing live actors, right? With movie theaters, it's not that the demand is there. People want to go to the movie theater. They want to get out of the house. The thing is, Vix is right. Now with COVID, streaming has become more normalized, I guess.
I like the seats in the plane. I just want to say that.
Oh yeah, this is a
They're
two-seater.
nice.
Actually,
Is it real
no, you
leather?
both. It's real leather. Both of you can fit in it barely back there. It's a death trap.
Oh my god.
Okay, what was I saying?
well,
3,
you,
a 2, a 1.
Matt doesn't know.
I'm like shaking my head. I'm like,
Don't
oh.
do that. Oh god. Oh
Nauseous.
god. No.
I'm keeping that one in there. Go ahead, Iggs.
No, so I was talking about TV versus film, people talk about, well, TV is better than film anyways, right? It's just different. It's long form. You can't watch a movie and have it end. Well, I guess you can, but usually films have a beginning, middle, and end, unlike TV, where the saga continues, right? And it's like
Sometimes it
more. It's a
continues too long.
Yeah,
exactly.
but
You're like,
Um,
the show should have ended long.
that's
no, but we're
that's why I'm
comparing
not crazy about
we're
TV.
comparing movies. We're not comparing TV series.
But Iggy, if that's true, and going to the movies becomes a lot like going to Broadway, which is like intense, then the theaters have to get better, and they have to be like going to Broadway. It has to be like beautiful theaters, beautiful like delicious food. All the top notch quality. Which at that point, I'd be psyched to go to the movies. Probably more. I think you're right, though. I think a lot of people would want to go more often.
I wouldn't mind going to the movie theaters if it's a nice one. Like I'll go again to it. I mean, it's expensive too. That's the other thing is like I feel like now people are seeing. You know why people are probably buying so many expensive houses? Because everyone's probably saving a shitload of money now staying indoors.
To staying in. Well, actually, I think in a way people want to get out because they've been indoors for so long that they want to go and we're social creatures, so we want to go interact and engage with other people.
Not me.
And I'm not saying
That's
every
not true.
movie.
That's not true. Matt does too.
Ditto.
Well, I'm not saying every single person wants to go out. I'm just saying not every single person wants to stay in after a year COVID, right? So it's like it's kind of counterintuitive a little bit because you would think, well, people are used to staying in. Yeah, but it's not. Maybe used to staying in is a bad way to put it. Maybe they're tired of staying in, and they want to go out again. They want to experience the theatrical experience, which, by the way, it doesn't always mean it's positive. I go to the movie theater, maybe somebody talks, kicks my seat, somebody, they have the wrong movie playing for the first 15 minutes. That's all part of it. That's why when I go to the movie theater, I brace myself and I accept that whatever happens, it is what it is, right? That's the experience.
Well, I mean, like, are there any good movies coming out? Like, are there any movies that you want to go to the theater to see? Because
Yes.
I haven't seen any
Yes.
trailers, and I don't even know if they're making movies or if they were this past year. So, like, are there any movies that we should be looking forward to? So maybe we can go back to that place in Brooklyn. Was it Brooklyn? Or we went to the dine-in.
Leah, this
Alamo.
is not a time to ask for advice from Iggy. Free advice. He does not give his suggestions for free.
It's not advice. I mean,
No,
I'm just-
I do give I don't charge for my
Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead.
advice.
Go ahead.
But no, Leah, we can go to the Alamo Draft House. I think Vix has a couple of movies that she wants to see in theaters.
What's coming out, Vicky?
Absolutely. Well, Leah, first I would like to introduce
50 Shades of Grey.
you, a thing called YouTube.
No,
you can
no.
Find lots of videos that are just trailers of upcoming movies.
So it's funny
Check
that
it
you mentioned
out.
that. I was actually watching videos of trailers yesterday on YouTube, and I don't know if I was looking at the wrong site or whatever, 'cause there's a lot on YouTube, but they all looked like shit. It
Well,
was,
because
and
some channels, like it's depending what channels on YouTube you're looking at their compilation videos of trailers. Because yeah, some of them are like, oh, all the horror movies coming out next, and they'll be like jumbled up with like the ones that are big coming out in theaters, and then also with like ones that are shitty like streaming ones that you've never even heard of with actors you don't even know. So and then sometimes some compilations are just all those types of trailers, so it could be that. But I'm excited for the Green Knight with is it Dave Patel? Yeah, I was like, Dave Patel. He is like scrumply, dumplicious. You know what I'm saying?
wow, you got a
and then-
crush on him? Ooh.
Yeah,
I did see this trailer yesterday, the Green Knight.
Did you like it?
It was
Wasn't it
probably
like
one of the only ones.
fantastical?
Yeah, it was one of the only ones that actually looked somewhat interesting because I like that kind of sci-fi.
Okay, it's not sci-fi.
time period.
Leah.
It's like science fiction, but in that time period of Camelot. Which
Hold on.
It's right, Arthurian legend, and then the other one
Arthurian,
is the Kingsman, which is part of the Kingsman series.
Yeah.
Kingsman. I don't know. It sounds the same if you say it out loud. Yeah, the Kingsman, which is supposed to be like the origin story. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that seems pretty cool.
That's cool.
And so I would go to theaters to see that too. But you know what I think is funny? When you watch trailers, for the ones that are like the big movies that they're like, yeah, fuck no, we're not gonna be streaming this shit. We're gonna wait or whatever. Like, because that's why they put off all these movies like Black Widow and Kingsman and all that because of COVID. Is that in the trailers now they make it a point to say only in theaters on this
Right.
Mm.
date, which I think, that shows, that demonstrates that there's like sort of like a value system to, if it goes directly to streaming, like you were saying, Iggs, it means that you assume lesser quality, you assume it's not good enough to be in theaters or to bring enough
Right.
people in for
Mm.
theaters. So even if that's not the case, like I think we all just all automatically assume that anyways. So that's why they're
Yes.
trying
That's
so hard
interesting.
to bring them to theaters and not just stream everything.
And don't you think
Yes.
there has to be a slew of really, really good movies that comes out on streaming that could like change that, or will that ever change?
I don't think, you know what, to Vix's point, I don't think there's ever going to be enough good movies coming out on streaming to make people believe, uh, to change that perception because, or maybe over time, maybe, 5 years, it might change. But consider this for the Oscar season, right? There are a lot of movies that came out on streaming that were very good, but people kept on saying, well, people on Twitter, this Oscar season is not as good, and I haven't, a lot of people hadn't even seen the films, even though they're more accessible now than they've ever been before. Because before you had to go to the movie theater, right? Now you can just watch it on Hulu, whatever. So, this idea that the movies that came out that were competing for Oscars weren't as good, it's wrong, but it's a real perception. It's wrong in the sense that the movies are still as good as they've ever been, right? But the perception is that they're not as good, or maybe they're because they've been released streaming on streaming. Now, like I said before, streaming is a wonderful thing because movies get made by people who otherwise wouldn't be able to get their movies made. Uh, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, they take a lot more, especially Netflix. They take a lot of risks with the kind of movies that they make that the studios used to make that they don't anymore. This is why I'm saying the blame really is on the studios, right, for not having a variety of projects that are like experimental and indie and interesting and so well. So the other thing is also of course, people are going to have other. They're going to be drawn to other. Uh, what do you call it? Forms of entertainment because of technology, right? Back in the day, back in the days of Gone with the Wind, they didn't have computers, they didn't have phones, right? They had maybe like that little hula hoop, maybe the wheel that you kind of pushed around with a stick, right? That you,
Well, I
you
think
know, they
they,
had.
I think they,
They'd have like people singing in the hallway and like playing instruments
yeah, and I
in the
think a lot more
bedroom.
people killed each other back then too. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, what I'm saying is that now theaters are competing with other forms of entertainment, so that it's not just that the movies are getting worse or that it's just that people have a lot more options, right? And that's normal, and that's not a bad thing. It's just it is what it is, right? It was
It's a
always
little
going to happen.
saturated though,
You
right? Like
know,
with more options, it's more saturated, which brings the quality down
you
in some areas of that market. Like,
Well, I'm just saying with Matt and you love gaming, and that's awesome, right? But before, there wasn't, I guess, with Nintendo and Sega that revolution started with gaming. But prior to that, movies had kind of the culture to itself in a way, right? Like music and then movies. Now there's all sorts of stuff that you can be drawn to that people can spend their money on, their time on. So movies, they have a lot more competition.
oh
Um,
yeah, podcasts.
yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta throw that in.
I'm just jumping
um,
the shark with this one. But well, as a musician and Iggy collecting DVDs and Blu-rays, I still have all my CDs, and I feel like that has to make some sort of a comeback because I actually don't mind having maybe I say that and then I just rather just want to play any song I want off online, but I kind of like using a CD or something and listen to one thing.
Sure. Sure, you're talking. Listen, you're talking to a guy who still has a Netflix subscription for DVDs and Blu-rays, and some people don't even know that
Crazy.
still exists.
I
Yeah,
I always I always kind of think that's funny because that's how I started out with Netflix, was getting the DVD delivered, sending it back.
sure.
In
Well,
fact,
actually, so when
no, sorry. Go ahead, because I had a thought this probably
Yeah.
gonna take a while.
oh, okay, so I have a quick thought.
Probably a couple hours.
When we bought your computer, we were at Best Buy, and one of the salesmen, a young man, I was talking with him, and I mentioned for some reason my Netflix DVD that had been sent to me, and he said, "What?" And I explained, "Oh well, Netflix sent me the DVD that I have a subscription for DVDs and Blu-rays."
Right.
He goes, I thought it was just streaming. I go, no. It started off as DVDs and Blu-rays, and then it became streaming. Streaming was added on. And yeah, he just looked bewildered and flabbergasted by it. But I'm saying, physical media, which is this is another podcast altogether.
Yeah.
Physical media offers things that streaming cannot offer, that streaming should be offering. And I'm talking from the point of view of a filmmaker, even like a film fan, like me and Vix. We love this movie called Constantine, right, with Keanu Reeves.
Yes, I love that movie too.
It's an incredible movie. And
Anything with Keanu Reeves, but that's a great one.
Well, so let's take any Keanu Reeves movie you like, right? If you want to know more about it, the only way you can really do that is to buy the DVD or the Blu-ray, or I guess go on YouTube and see if you can find any special features that would have been ported over from the Blu-ray or DVD.
That's true. There's
so-
not a lot of places to go to find that stuff now.
No, streaming doesn't offer you, for the most part. So sometimes they offer you commentary track or some bonus features, like Army of the Dead has episodes, like bonus episodes of
Making of.
Yeah, exactly, with Zack Snyder, which is incredible. I love that kind of stuff, but for the most part, that's been relegated to physical media. So that's when Matt says about talking about, wanting to hear the music from his CDs. There's a certain sound quality that he likes, and also I guess nostalgia plays into it too.
But also it lets you focus on one thing, and you kind of, if you buy a CD, you kind of like the artist kind of has to try to do a good job on the album. I feel like now that just allows for laziness for everyone to just put random stuff online because, people aren't going to really buy it or own it. And the same thing with like
curated, it's not customized.
Well, the other example I was gonna say is video games. I used to buy the boxes. Remember I had a whole collection of boxes of video games.
Presentation is part of it, right? When you have a movie or something, Leah, you just mentioned curation.
Well, it's part of the quality. That's what makes up the quality aspect. That's what I mean about going to these movie theaters and when they do all these little special things. It's like, we were cleaning out our closet the other day, and we were cleaning out our CDs, and I kept all the little covers of the CDs. Like, I had garbage, and like I opened up the thing from garbage, and it was like all these beautiful photos, and like just like all the special things they did for the CD. It's just different now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea, well, because when you have so many options for movies, for music, but then I see a movie that's in theaters, and then I see that it's actually on DVD or Blu-ray, I'm just more likely to be kind of attracted to it, right? And it helps me to kind of narrow that selection of what to watch and what to listen to, because I'm seeing this in a theater, which you only have so many options, and then on the shelf maybe, right, at Best Buy or where there's only a certain amount of options. So from a filmmaker point of view, right, I'm not even talking about the audience anymore, is I look forward to the day when my movie will be in theaters and maybe in Barnes & Noble for sale, whatever. They don't have, I used to go to Virgin Megastores. The thing is, you want to have something that stands out from the pack, right? Because if your movie lands on streaming, I'm sorry, it might really get lost in somebody described it, somebody from I forget who exactly, but somebody at the Cannes Film Festival, which is happening right now, describes streaming as like a black hole, where movies just get lost because there's so many, and there's not a lot of curation.
That's what affected music even worse, because people feel like less like they want to pay for music, even more so over movies. And then video games, it's so saturated now that they just give away everything for free, which leads me to the question, do you think entertainment nowadays and art is now cheaper and cheaper for like the value is lower, therefore they can't sustain putting more money into any of these industries, even games sometimes?
Well, I'll say this much. So because I don't know about music, but with movies, the fear was, I guess it wasn't my fear, but a fear of the studios was that with big movies they wouldn't be able to make their money back in theaters, right? So they make a movie that's $200 million. If nobody can go to the theater or doesn't want to go to the movie theater, they're going to lose a lot of money, and that's going to mean that there's going to be fewer bigger movies. I actually think that's a good thing. I think the problem with big movies, back in the day, you'd have a big movie, and that big movie would pay, the success of that big movie would pay for smaller movies. The studios then started making other big movies with the money from the success of the big movie. So it was just one big movie after another.
But you can't change the audience though. Like, people like those big movies because they don't want to think and they just want to watch dumb shit.
Well, they think. Here's what it is.
People aren't gonna get smarter. You know.
Well, no, it's not about intelligence. Here's what it is. People think, they associate spectacle with quote unquote value. So if they go to see Jurassic World, which I think you should see in theaters, right? I'm gonna see it in theaters. But if they see a big movie
Wait, is
like
there
that,
a new Jurassic World coming out?
Yeah, Dominion.
Oh, okay.
Of course, there's always a new Jurassic World coming. Always.
Yeah. Well, no, I have to like Jurassic Park a lot. The whole series.
But Jurassic World too.
Actually, you know what? I actually like the new trilogy enough that I'm glad they made it. And I think the first Jurassic World was like a commentary on. It was kind of meta in a way, right? Because they're talking about.
Yes.
You know, but just to finish my thought real quick is, people, for me, the best experiences I've had in theaters were some of the smaller movies, like the Florida Project and The Hateful Eight, which takes place basically in a cabin, right? It was the best movie theater experience I've had, and people wouldn't think of that as maybe a big theatrical release worth your money, but it definitely is. There's no reason why Avengers should be these type of movies should be the only movies playing in theaters just because they're big budget and they have a lot of CGI in them. Which again,
I saw Schindler's List in the movie theater with my grandfather. I remember. So
yeah,
I guess that harkens back to a time when they did not everything was a big budget theater. I think it was Liar Liar and then the Schindler's List was playing.
Those are really two good movies to watch back to back.
You know, he made me watch Schindler's List instead of.
She's like, I was watching Jackass, and then you know what? I figured let's watch Schindler's List right after.
Actually, you know what? The other way around wouldn't be a bad thing. Actually, you watch Schindler's List and then you watch something like Jackass or Liar Liar. It makes sense to me, right? Because you just watched a movie with the Holocaust. You want to have a laugh afterwards. So
it's a palate cleanser.
Suicidal. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of gossip, Iggy, I want your thoughts on Bam Margera not making it into Jackass 4.
No comment.
Okay.
That's a thing.
Jackass
That's really a
hasn't
thing.
been relevant since like the year 2005.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
It's like a story
not.
right now.
I didn't even know about it.
Neither did I.
They're like 50 years old now.
Just that was completely random, and also
He does not appreciate it.
no. Well, listen. I know this is a little bit dry, but I'm almost to the end of my notes, so
It's all right. I got a little cotton mouth, but I'm good.
It's not dry because it's sparking conversation, but we gotta get to
Intellectually, I'm hard. Go on.
Oh my god.
What?
He's
I'm uncomfortable.
3, 2, 1.
yeah.
Is that a reference? Is that a reference to the guy that was like 3, 2, 1, but they left it in the video? Did you see that? Is that a reference to that?
Trust me, what I do with these videos after is that I just throw the file into Movie Maker, export it, and put it on YouTube. So that's all that happens.
It's like, oh yeah, I'll edit this later. He doesn't.
No, there's no editing really that goes
He's
on.
too
at all,
lazy.
so.
Iggy thinks there's a lot of editing in this. Iggy.
No, there's a video of a guy who he's being interviewed, and when he fucks up, he goes, "Okay, 3, 2, 1," and he starts over again. But they left the 3, 2, 1 in the video, so he just looks like an asshole. So so here's the thing. So I've been talking a lot about the viewpoint of the audience, which I am, and the filmmaker, which I also am, and the studios, which I understand their position on it. Okay, about maybe even having from the studio's point of view, they like the idea of having a movie in theaters and then having it in streaming right away, so that the marketing can continue. They don't have to do 2 different marketing plans. But let's take it from the point of view of a filmmaker, which is like a movie like Get Out, right? Would that have been as
Great movie.
successful on
Great movie.
streaming if it were right? If it were on
Maybe.
streaming, would it have been as successful?
Maybe.
Well, we don't know.
The
What are
fact-
the metrics on movies on the most popular
Well, can you think
streaming
of a new?
movie?
Can you think of a new movie on streaming that's been super successful lately? Like Bird Box.
that's
was
what-
kind of successful. Bird Box.
Yes.
Well,
So
the Tomorrow War hasn't
Tomorrow
that
War
already
was kinda-
broken?
there's already a
Broken
sequel.
Or that
Yeah.
shitty zombie movie that apparently they said it was amazing, but everyone knows it sucked.
Which movie?
Yeah, Zack Snyder.
The Zack Snyder
Oh,
zombie movie.
Army of the Dead.
Army
yeah,
of the
there's
Dead.
been some. There's been some really
He has
successful
so
Fucking
many
terrible.
projects coming up now
Well, but-
because of it.
on
Well,
streaming.
so talking about the metrics of it is interesting because with Get Out, extremely successful financially, which is it's a big deal in Hollywood, right? So $200 million, I think, worldwide. This movie cost $5 million to make.
Oh, wow.
People were going to the theaters to see it and having it was a great movie to see with an audience. But if it was on streaming, and I'm not the first person to say this, okay, it would have been a different. There would have been a different. It would have had possibly a different reception. Not because it's not. It wouldn't have been as good because it's the same movie, right? But the way it's presented, this is what I'm talking about. The presentation of it would have been so drastically different that maybe would have got lost in the shuffle. Maybe people would have liked it, but would have gotten a nomination for best screenplay. A lot of times, the fact that it makes so much money and people are talking about it becomes a cultural talking point. That helps a movie, win awards. Right?
Wait, so do you think
So-
the crowd mentality can like influence you? Will influence you to like a movie more or less than you normally would if you were just watching it.
Yes.
And is that good or bad?
Neither. I don't think it's good or bad. What I would prefer to see every movie in a theater, right? Now that's not possible, and I accept it, and that's fine. I see most movies that I want to see in theaters, right? But so Get Out, I definitely made it a point to see it in theaters because I'd read the script before. I'm a big fan of Jordan Peele, and so you asked about Tomorrow War, which already a sequel has been announced. When the streamers, they don't release a lot of information. They say, well, this many people watched it. Well, this many people watched the first 2 minutes of it, right? If you watch the first 2 minutes, that counts as a viewing.
But they're
So they
just,
don't have
but
the
they,
cost
but
of,
they
like,
know,
watching the whole movie?
but they know all the metrics. But they're probably revealing the metrics that they want to reveal to the public.
Right, it's selective, but I'm saying nobody knows for sure how many people watched Tomorrow War versus something like Get Out, where they know how many tickets have been sold. They know how much money has been made.
But but Netflix. I mean, Tomorrow War had. It has to be profitable if they're doing it still, like big budget movies like Tomorrow War.
It was always going to be profitable because it's a $200 million alien movie with Chris Pratt. There's no universe where that movie would not have been.
Well, but they're making their money where now? Because they're not in the movie theaters.
Subscribers.
Yeah.
They want people to sign up, and once you sign up, most people, for the most part, they don't cancel their subscriptions for whatever. It's the kind of thing where they just want subscribers. That's what they care about.
That's true. I signed up for Hulu for Handmaid's Tale, and I still have it. And we watched the whole thing, and I still have it, and I'm not changing it.
Yeah, exactly. And then with Amazon Prime, especially with Tomorrow War, they want you to sign up for Prime, and then maybe you buy a couple things, right, on Amazon, and then you buy some more because you have Prime and it's free shipping and it's 2-day shipping, whatever. So they just want to get you hooked on Amazon Prime, which again makes sense to me. That makes all the sense in the world to me. They should definitely do that. But what I'm advocating for is letting these movies have a theatrical life before they hit streaming, and not letting the big movies monopolize the theatrical experience. Because, like I said before, a small movie like the Florida Project is just as valid, and just or even Get Out. Let's take Get Out. A movie like Get Out is just as valid as something like, Infinity War or, one of these other big budget movies.
Hey, do you know the like I don't, the state of like movie theaters after the pandemic? Like, are a lot of them reopening and ready to just? Are there tons of movies to show and they're all ready to open, or like some of them have closed, or are some of them revamping and doing it a different way?
Well, a lot of them have shut down. Some have shut down, but they're being, with AMC. If AMC had gone bankrupt, it wouldn't necessarily have gone out of business. They just would have been owned by somebody else, right? Somebody else would have
Because the
bought
movie
AMC.
business is still profitable. You think someone would have paid for that slot and made a
Yeah.
movie
Yeah,
theater?
I mean, right. Well, for a while there was a little bit touch and go, right? Because nobody knew exactly what was going to happen, because movies couldn't be made really.
right.
TV shows couldn't be, movies couldn't be made.
But now people
so
are
the
back. Are
product
people
was-
back in the movie theaters yet?
Yeah, they are back. In fact, I was back. So this is, I guess, a good segue. I was because I'm at the end of my notes. I was back at the movie theater to watch F9, Fast and Furious 9.
Fast and Furious. How was it?
It was a complete shit show, but it was a fun shit show. And the thing
That's
is,
what every Fast Five movie is. A fun shit show.
funny enough, Steph, my wife, she that was the first Fast and Furious movie she'd ever seen. Was
What?
F9. So she was like, "What did I just watch?" So I was like, "No. Let's I want to show you where it started." And she's like, "Please, I want to know how Vin Diesel became like a super spy, like a superhero spy, which is at this point that's what they are. They're superhero spies." So we started with the first one, and she's like, "So this one's related to F9?" I'm just like, "Wait 8 movies, and you'll start to understand."
It really,
the
really
evolution."
amps up stuff.
So when we went to the theater, we went to fake IMAX, right? Because they billed it as IMAX, but it was not real IMAX. There were people talking all throughout the movie. They had started playing the wrong movie, The Hitman's Bodyguard's Wife.
Oh.
And there were all these kids around me making all kinds of noises. I don't know what those noises were. I know there was a lot going on. I don't know why there was so much commotion. But that's what I was saying before. Is that's the theatrical experience, and that's kind of like.
Yeah,
what
but you don't
I-
like that though.
I hate it. But that's the chance you take when you see a movie. The movie might be bad too. You don't know, and you say, "Well, I wasted so much money." I don't really see it that way, because to me, it's a story. It's a story I'm telling you. When I'm watching a movie at home, it's not really a story, is it? It's like, yeah, I went to the bathroom and I made some mac and cheese, and you know what I'm saying? There's not much story
it's like
there.
when you go out to see a show, when you go out to see like a comedy show, or you go out to see music, you don't always have fun. You don't always enjoy it, but it's still an experience. It's really an experience we're talking about. Which, by the way, which I think Matt and I see a lot of stuff we do at home as also experiences in the similar way, but also we enjoy going out, so we're homebodies, whatever. But like, everything's that kind of joyous experience.
Well, now with better TVs and better sound systems, I get why people would want to stay home. I want to stay home most of the week, but I feel like the theatrical experience shouldn't be written off just because, well, first off, COVID, but second off, because not as many people are going to the movies as before. That was just always going to happen because of competition with other forms of entertainment. So.
Well, I agree with you. I really hope that the movie theater isn't a thing that doesn't become a thing in the past. That would be really sad. That would make me very sad.
If it became a thing of the past, trust me, it would come back, because people would miss it too much, and then it would start to come back again.
Yeah, I used to go to the movies a lot when I was younger. Oh, I actually really enjoy going to the movies with all of you, with you guys. Usually when we go to the movies, we go when we're in New York.
Yes.
That's usually when we go. We don't really go to AMC in Boston.
Yeah, that's what I loved to do with you guys when you came here, was let's go catch a flick. And
Do it again
didn't matter
soon.
what Yeah, well, No Time to Die. You were asking about what movies I'm looking forward to. No Time to Die, which is the new James Bond movie. I'm very
And
eager to
Matrix
see.
4, the Matrix 4.
Yes, yes. Although I think that might also be. I'm confused because they've changed. They've changed their plans so many times. That might be HBO Max streaming, but even if it is, I would be
No
up for seeing that in
way.
theaters.
That
Yeah,
would be annoying if
No
it.
way. I
I
cannot
think it
believe that.
is.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Yeah,
look it
it's a
up.
little hurtful if it's HBO. I mean, yeah. Well,
Oh
we'll
my
see.
god.
We have
Uh-huh.
HBO,
That's
but still.
disappointing. That's disappointing for sure.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Is that kind of right? That kind of stung a little bit when I just said that,
Like
right?
I'm not
About
even that excited for it
It did
anymore,
sting me
because
too
now I
much, but I got
feel
your point.
There's a lot of stuff on Apple TV and Disney Plus that we're missing out on because we don't have either of those. We have everything else, but we don't have Apple TV or Disney Plus.
yeah, and that's
And
the
I'm
other
not
thing is,
getting it.
well, that's a good point. You have all these streaming channels. We happen to be on most of them because Steph's sister and her dad, who pay for it, we jump on. But you have Apple TV, and then you have uh, all these other. What else do you have? Oh, Apple TV is a big one for me too because I wanted to see that M Night Shyamalan series, Servant.
We don't have.
And
We don't have Apple TV. All we have HBO Max and Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and I think that's it. We don't have Disney Plus and we don't.
Paramount Plus.
No,
oh my god, there's so many.
Yeah, and
and
that's the
Apple
thing is,
TV.
How are
right. So
people paying for all these different subscriptions?
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing. Is like too many
it's a problem.
subscriptions. Like I'm not paying for all these different things just so I can watch one movie on each of them.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's gonna become a problem, and then at some point they're gonna some of these. I don't know. Not every studio can have their own. Their own.
They're gonna have to
streaming site.
consolidate. They're gonna have to consolidate, change their pricing, or get better quality content.
Disney
Like,
will probably
more
buy
quality
everyone out
content.
eventually.
Because if HBO Max had like 20 great movies instead of 2, I would get rid of freaking Amazon Prime. You know what I mean? But it's only like 2 good movies on HBO, and then there's like 2 good movies on Prime. So I have to have all of them so I can see 6 good movies.
Yeah. Like
This
so
is
Vic
your
was saying
captain
about-
speaking, soon landing at Ontario International.
Wow.
Go.
Okay, sorry.
I thought you've been landing this whole time.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
3, 2,
I was
1.
like,
I
is
was
he
trying to-
landing on the road or what?
Oh, I was
I
just
was,
doing
like,
a
trying
close
to-
flyby.
I was trying to like sum up my thoughts and doing a little vamping just to soften the landing, and I'm just waiting here. I'm sorry. What was the question? I don't even remember.
ETA,
Matt's ruined everything.
5 minutes. Go ahead.
I don't remember
Typical,
either.
typical Matt.
Uh,
What are we
Mom's
even
So-
doing?
not here to protect him. I'll stop.
no, it's not you. My concentration has been totally destroyed by Matt, so I don't even know.
I was.
what to-
You can sum up your thoughts now because basically
I'm gonna taxi. I'm gonna
Wrap
taxi
it
too.
up.
I'm gonna taxi too. So I'm gonna
Where's
taxi
the
too.
music? Where's like the Oscar music?
Cha
Wrap
cha
it
cha
up.
cha.
just pushing us off stage real quick.
Oh boy.
Iggy's Oscar speech is 25 minutes.
Do you remember that Chappelle skit? It's like you have like this box and you like press a button and the music starts playing. It's like wrap
Yeah,
it
wrap it up,
up.
bud.
It's like
Yeah.
when, he's like having sex with his wife and she's like playing it and he's like.
Yep. That's a good skit.
I love Chappelle. Oh man, sorry.
Um,
So go ahead, Iggs. Your turn. You got the stage.
You have 2.5 minutes.
yeah. So
Hold
just as
for 2 seconds.
I'll say this much: it makes me sad to think that because I haven't made a feature-length film yet. It makes me sad that my first feature, might not get a theatrical release. But really, at the end of the day, it's up to me. I have to fight for it. And you know what? You've always kind of had to fight for it. There's been movies like
Just take it to
Johnny
the
Darko.
drive-in movie theaters.
Yeah,
I
we
would
didn't
do-
even talk about drive-ins.
Sure, drive-ins are listen, I'm not. I don't think I've ever been to a drive-in, but I hear terrible things about them.
Are you
Um,
freaking kidding me, dude? No, that's insane. You have to go. There's a
Take
really
me.
great
Take me.
old timey. There's an old timey drive-in near me, near my sister, near where I grew up in Milford, or Mendon, Mass, and it is very classy, cool, outdoors. You'd love it. It's not, yeah, good.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
let's do it.
No, I just think that to me, I grew up on movie theaters in malls, going to the mall, but popping into the movie theater. It'd be very sad if they went away, but guess what? People like being with other people, and I get that it's more comfortable or easier to be at home, but you can't do that every day of the year. So movie theaters will
Yeah, but you can
continue to
also have
exist.
projector screens. You know, like how they do like summer movie nights and stuff like that. Or like my
Sure.
roommate, he used to have a projector, and so he'd have it out in the backyard.
Okay.
Mhm.
People would come
With the
over.
sheet.
So, yeah.
Well, that is a variation of the movie theater experience, right? You kind of
Yeah, it's
recreate the movie theater a little
right.
bit.
It's like spliced. It's like a mutant version of the two.
But that's still, I love the home viewing, but it shouldn't be either or. It shouldn't be either theatrical
Oh,
release
no.
or home viewing.
I agree with
And
that.
I'm sorry if this was too academic and dry, because the truth is, I meant to make it sound more organic, but it just sounded like I was reading off my notes.
I've never wanted to slap you more.
I
After
actually enjoyed
saying,
it.
saying, I'm sorry, it was so academic.
It gets after
Can
you.
we talk about the old movie for 2 seconds? Because I'm just like really wanting to
Oh,
figure out
yeah.
already. Like, what is the twist supposed to be? And if you guys want to like throw out what you guys think it might be, because it's killing me and I can't find anything anywhere online.
What's the question? The twist of what?
There's an M. Night Shyamalan movie called Old, which I actually want to see in theaters. So there's another example
yeah?
of a movie to see in theaters. Yeah, I'll go see it with you.
Oh, okay.
But would it come? I don't think we want to spoil the end of Old now, but
But do you know it?
I don't know it. No,
Oh, but that's
It's
what
based
I'm
on a
saying.
graphic-
Just like
it's based on a graphic novel that I don't think has a twist ending. So I don't know
exactly. That's why I'm saying you can't find it anywhere because the graphic novel just ends with apparently everyone's just old. But like, you know, he added a twist, and I'm just, you know, me. I'm a impatient little bitch, and I just like I'm so curious to know what could possibly be the twist. You know, like it's already such a weird concept. So like to add a twist to it, it's like it's already fucking weird. What could the twist be that makes it even more
boy.
shocking? You've never seen the trailer, Leah?
Leah's disconnected.
Sorry, did I disconnect?
Down for the count.
Am I here?
No, have you never seen the trailer before?
Are you talking to me right now?
Oh my god, is your name
Sorry.
Leah?
I have to be honest.
We're gonna go to intermission. Technical issues.
I have to be honest. I quickly ran to the bathroom. So, what was the question?
Well, yeah, you could have just asked that rather than looking at me for the last 5 minutes blankly, staring at me.
I knew that the one moment that I took to go run to the bathroom, someone would specifically ask me a question.
That
What was
is
the question?
So funny.
So in
Welcome to the
conclusion,
Friendly Skies podcast.
Oh my
Jesus.
god, can we end this now? Is this over?
Yeah, how long is this plane gonna take to stop, bro?
Yeah,
'Cause,
I'm
No,
parking.
I-
I'm parking. I'm parking. I'm parking.
Are you
Why
parking?
are you
It's just
so
snowing.
slow?
Huh?
You're in a plane.
I'm
How are
parking.
you being so
You'd
slow
think that
right
it would
now?
slow down like at some point.
I'm
but
going
no.
faster.
I see that now.
I'm going faster. I'm going fast. Okay, go ahead, Iggy. Music explain. Music explain here. Music
Well, I'm
explain.
gonna look up the trailer for Old after we get off this call. So.
Yes, and then let me know what you think.
And then we have to talk about everything I have to edit out.
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
God.
we do. If you would ask me how would you like this episode not to end, I would say
Not to air.
just like this.
Go ahead.
No, not to air, but not to end. So Yeah, thank you for having me on. And
Well, you're welcome. I should have thanked you first, but go ahead.
Right. And then
Terrible
Yeah.
host. Terrible.
no.
I think. Go ahead. Sorry, I was talking.
No, it's just interesting. I'm trying to talk, and then I'm watching the